Welcome back. This is Billy with Coach Dooley's List. And once again, if you're enjoying these coaching videos, please like and subscribe to the YouTube page and follow along on all of our social media platforms. Today, I'm here with new head coach of the Chattahoochee football program, Austin Hamilton.
How's it going?
Coach, I appreciate you taking the time.
Much. Thank you.
Especially because I've been sitting in traffic and I'm here and I'm thankful for that. So I always start just kind of tell everybody, hey, what's your coaching journey been like and how'd you end up here at the Hooch?
Yeah, so honestly, it was a weird turn of events. I was lucky enough to play at Grayson High School, win a state championship. We were really big there. Went on to play at West Georgia, and played football. Did very well for myself. I remember tearing my knee my sophomore year, having a good junior year.
That's in college.
Yes, in college, and then tearing my knee my junior year, and then my senior year went to crap. It was like, instead of being the guy playing out there as offensive line, I was like the sixth guy rotated in. So that kind of messed up with my mental big time. I remember I got to a point where I was just like, I'm done with football. Like, this has screwed me over. I've done it for so long in my life. Let me just go ahead and just get over football. And then, honestly, I got into working at a therapeutic foster care, and I was able to build into young men. And then that's kind of when my mindset flipped of, instead of focusing so much on football, but wanting to build into young men, I ended up taking a parapro job at South Forsyth High School.
Okay.
Volunteered for football on just Friday nights of writing the plays, scripting the plays, and then I ended up being the head boys track and field coach there. But from there really is where my journey started when it came to football. After volunteering for a year, they wanted me to join as an assistant offensive line coach. Still doing track and field there, taking over the boys and the girls program as well for track. Stayed there for a handful of years. And then Coach Bond ended up getting Coach Carlisle got the job here. And then he was looking for OC. One of my guys, Coach Bond, came in as the OC. And I remember him telling me, he was like, you got to come with me. Like, if we can get you over here, you got to come. So I think very highly of him. So when he invited me, it was no question, no second thought. And then I've enjoyed being here the past 3 years and now in a new role.
I have to ask, you said therapeutic foster care.
Yes, sir.
Tell me just a little about that.
So I actually got my degree in psychology.
Okay.
And it was this place where you would have DJJ kids who, wider range of stuff that they got in trouble for.
For those not at Department of Juvenile Justice kids, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And wider range of problems that they got in trouble for. But instead of going straight to juvie, they had an option because they were not old enough to get there yet, but still young enough where they could go to this program. They would live there, eat there, go to school there, kind of a facility. And if they were on good terms for a certain amount of months, they were able to go home. So I was the cottage leader in a sense. So I would be there when they get home from school, hang out with them, kind of focus on just building them into young men and kind of making sure that road that they were on kind of swerved a little bit to the right so we could get them in the right track.
That's really cool. And you always talk about how football can be an avenue for kids. And that is definitely an avenue right there.
Yes,
so that's really cool. So you kind of have a unique perspective about how football can help kids.
I agree,
and working through your own stuff.
Yes,
and so
sir.
With all that, now becoming the head coach, what is it now that you want your program to be known here?
Yeah. For me, something that I've heard my whole life is attitude is everything.
Yep.
Everyone is dealt a hand, whether it be good, whether it be bad, but that is something that I think in this day and age that kids need to realize that you have 100% control of that. You don't have 100% of control of a lot of things in your life, let's be honest, especially as young adults, but your attitude is one. And just the way you react to certain situations or don't react or react negatively can affect you in the long run. So that's kind of my focus right now with this group, is kind of building a foundation of attitude is everything, and it can get you places you want to go, or, like I said, swerve your track the wrong way to places you don't want to go.
It needs to be on a t-shirt. It's not already. And so in your years, especially doing, the working with the at-risk kids and then coming through South Forsyth and here, you always have coaching stories that you just love or kind of put a smile on your face. So what's one of your favorite coaching stories you've got over the years?
I think for me, it's always when an athlete reaches back out. I can't pinpoint exactly one, but I know I had a girls track and field athlete who was a thrower who reached back out and said, Coach Hamilton, in college we had to write about, leaders, and you were the first person I thought about. So I just wanted to reach out and just say, hope everything's going well. My guy over who offensive lineman who plays at Michigan reaches out to me all the time about, hey, coach, what's your take on this? What do you think about this? Quarterback, Ty Watkins, who was at South Forsyth, always reaches out. Coach Hamilton, how's it going? Like, can I pick your mind about this? Can I pick your mind about that? So for me, it's always when an athlete reaches back out, because obviously somewhere along that line of their life, I've affected them enough to where they want to reach back out or are still thinking about what I have going on.
And I love that you're getting that already, because I often tell young coaches, like, you don't really realize what an impact you've had on kids until they get older. No 17-year-olds coming to you. Occasionally they will, but not coming to you going, hey, you made this impact. It's usually when they're in college or out of college and years down the road. And young coaches need to hear those things, but they don't for several years because it can be a thankless job. And so now, I'm not going to, I kind of take this different way, because you've been in the head coach for how long now? About a month?
Yeah.
About
a couple weeks, honestly.
Right, so a couple weeks. So instead of saying, advice for future head coaches, one thing I kind of ask brand new head coaches is, what is something that you've had to do over the last month that you did not realize was a part of the job description?
So for me right now, it's kind of getting inventory of all of our equipment. I think that's super important to make sure you know what you have, so we're not just spending money. Because, money is a big thing when it comes to running a program. Yep. So we're not just spending money wherever it's supposed to be, but making sure we have a year plan, 5-year, 10-year of like what needs to be purchased throughout the years. So kind of thinking ahead, but also kind of realizing that your first year is going to be important, but it's the years to come that's going to be more important. I think it's very easy for me to step in and all of a sudden think I'm going to flip this place upside down. And as eager as I am and want to, it just doesn't work that way. It's going to take some time and realizing that in myself, because I am a very ambitious person, that, just take it step by step and it'll get to where it needs to go.
When the cliche in sports, especially with football, with Saban, it's trust the process, and the process for some works faster than others. But I think you're right in going, hey, what's my year plan, 5-year plan? Because you can see those steps that way, because it's not always going to be tomorrow. So now some of the fun stuff is do a little rapid fire. You don't have to give any context, just an answer. So if somebody was coming to Johns Creek area in Chattahoochee and said, hey, I'm going to come over there, I'm coming to meet, and what's a great place to eat? Where are you sending them?
Man, I would go to, I'll go to El Portón. It's one of our sponsors, but honestly, a great Mexican place. One of our athletes' parents kind of run it. Okay. Very good hospitality, service, and the best food, honestly, in my opinion, when it comes to Mexican food around here.
Is it El Portón?
El Portón.
El Portón. Okay. I've got to go to lunch when I leave here. If you had a pregame hype song either now or back when you were playing, what was it?
Man, I'll go Lil Baby Freestyle.
I don't know that one. I'm going to look that up after I go eat. Who is a coach that's just been a great mentor to you that like you said, you got your quarterback that calls you. Who's somebody, if you're sitting here at this desk going, I need some help, who do you call?
So I really have two main people. One, I'm lucky enough to call my best friend, KJ Palmer. He actually, his story of how he got to where he's at, he's currently right now at New Hampshire University as the receivers coach and pass game coordinator. His story on how he got through the ranks to get to where he's at. Volunteering at Home Depot and being just at his high school to all of a sudden making it to Tennessee as a GA to now where he's at has been kind of something that really sticks out to me, and I call him about everything. And then a little bit more older with wisdom, Coach Hall, Will Hall. He's now the head coach at Tulane. He was my head coach at West Georgia. I kind of reach out to him if I have questions, kind of like, hey, coach, what about this? What about that? He actually was, even through just becoming the new head coach, wrote me a recommendation letter when I interviewed for this job. So stuff like that is kind of, even though he's at that big of a level, to not, hinder from talking to an old player for his and still getting stuff done really inspires me, honestly.
Well, and it's about relationships. You know that. So now it's going to change this year, but the last couple of years is the OC, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your pregame ritual? And not so much about getting players ready, but what were things that you did to mentally get ready for the game?
So I had a lot of hats, even though just being the coach. See, I did have to help with equipment and stuff like that. And the technology. So always stressful. But one thing for me was so weird, but I always had to take a ice cold shower before a game.
Listen, hey, I do those in the morning, and they become a habit,
Yep.
but it gets you going. And they say if you can make it through that, then you can do anything.
Yep.
And I count to 45. 45 seconds is about all I can do. Who is the best player you've ever coached against?
I would say Oscar Dope.
Pretty
I know
good.
I was offensive guy, but watching him and how our defense had to adjust to him playing was kind of unreal. It was kind of one of those moments. It's like, oh, no matter what you schemed up, he's still going to make a play. So
He was pretty good. I imagine he was pretty good in high school. Who is somebody, and this could be football, could be here at the Hooch, could be anybody in Georgia. Who's somebody you think would be entertaining for me to sit down and talk to next?
a funny answer to say my wife, just because of this whole transition.
Is she coaching?
No,
Or
no.
she, but just
No,
to
just
get the wife side of
yeah,
things.
the wife
Oh,
side of
that's
all of it,
important
especially
too.
being young, especially having a kid, 2.5-year-old about to be 3. Kind of, she has to deal with the raw me majority of the time when it comes to, I got to politic here a little bit, smile, put a smile on my face, but those raw emotions do eventually have to go somewhere. So she has been a rock. So I think she'd be a great person to interview. But other than that, around here, I would say Buck Blue. I think he knows a lot about being in high school football because of his kids being throughout high school, and then obviously a big name. Kind of seeing all of it and seeing how it has adjusted from his time to now to high school to college, all of that. I think he'd be a great person to interview.
Love to try to make that happen. So, last thing I always ask coaches is just, the reason I do these interviews, try to bring awareness. We have a website trying to help coaches out, just a one-stop shop. So who's a vendor that you've worked with or already starting to work with that you would recommend to other coaches?
I would say BSN, of course. Darcy is our main person for our school, and she has been tremendous help throughout all of this. Always on top of it, always reaching back out if I have any questions. So for me, it's BSN for sure.
Awesome. Well, they are definitely on the site, and this, it's all about the rep. And when you get a good one, they can be one of your best friends.
No doubt.
Perfect time. We got done before second period.
We did.
Awesome. Well, Coach, listen, man, I'm excited for you. Again, make sure you take care of your wife.
Yeah.
Okay, take care of your kid, put them first. But I'm excited about you continuing what's going on over here. And if I can ever do anything to help you out, let me know.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.